And
hello and welcome to We Are Into Deep Together. It's a podcast dedicated to deep dive episodes of Together and Still Together series. And as we always say on this podcast, I miss saying this a lot. If you haven't seen Together and Still Together, you need to go back to the GMMTV official YouTube channel or Netflix or Line TV or wherever it is that you can watch Together series and watch it there. Please go back here though and deep dive this episode with us. You are now listening to the deep dive of Still Together episode 4. My name is Justin and I have here my partner
Robin. I'm Robin.
Yay! Well, this episode of our deep dive kind of take us back to our good old days when it's just us with no guests and just gonna talk about how much we love the Together series. Well, Robin and I were talking earlier, and then we are kind of required to rewatch the episode again, and I was like, all giddy up. I was super happy the whole time I was watching it. It was as if it's my first time to watch this episode. How you feel, Robin?
I never forgot like how much I love Together and Still Together, but I was watching this episode and I just felt really happy, like out of nowhere. I think it was a time when somebody smiled at someone and then I was like, "Ooh." And I just like, yeah. I just became very happy. It lightened up my morning.
As for me, I love it then. I think that I love it then. And then when you rewatch it, there's like another light bulb to come to you, right? And then but I agree with what you said. I believe you said you were having a rough day and then you watch it.
Yeah.
Instant pick me up.
Definitely.
Okay. So Still Together episode 4 is Sarawat's perspective on, it's a point of view, Sarawat's point of view on the whole LDR fiasco, right?
Yeah.
Let me just say to all our listeners and to you, Robin, that Still Together episode 4 is still my favorite episode in the entire series. Even Together season 1, even after the sofa kissing scene. This is my favorite. And if you ask me why, it's because of my bright bias. Yes, because this one is the perspective of Sarawat, right? It's more of how Sarawat sees things. And also, Robin, I really appreciate, I just thought of it right now. I really appreciate the idea of GMMTV to have two sides, like how Time sees things and how Sarawat sees things. It's kind of like refreshing to have that kind of stuff because, as you know, all the BL series that we have, it's more of a general perspective on things. Right now, it's more of personal. Like, have you ever thought that what would Pete Pete would think during this specific scene, or Cow would feel on this specific scene? Speaking of Pete and Cow, we have a new Pink Milk Diaries episode hosted by my partner right there. And Pete and Cow, what BL series is that? It's the
Dark Blue Kiss.
Yes, you can find it on Spotify and on YouTube. All you need to do is search Pink Milk Diaries or Dark Blue Kiss. Yes. Anything you can say about the episode, Pink Milk Diaries host, Robin?
I just had a really great time. Dark Blue Kiss was one of my first 4 BLs that I watched. And it was so dramatic and so compelling. That I really just liked it. And in the episode itself that we recorded, we got into a lot of issues that are specific to the LGBTQ community, and it's good. I had a good time, and I always enjoy recording all of our episodes, but this episode I love. So personally love, and I hate listening to myself. So yeah, please give it a listen.
Yeah, we should say hi to Saint. Hi, Saint.
Hi, Saint. Thank you, Saint.
Robin, what can you say? I mean, general opinion on Still Together episode 4.
I just love, I think it was shot very beautifully. It was put together very beautifully. It tells a lot of different stories, like we were talking about earlier, in less than 50 minutes. There's a lot going on, and also it keeps your emotions going. Like it's still consistent throughout the whole thing. So I think, it keeps you engaged. I really loved this episode.
Yes. And also this is the episode wherein Sarawat Sarawat was kind of feeling lonely and stuff. So we get to see that side of Sarawat, because from episode 3 it was the perspective of Tyne, wherein, oh no, he's ugly cry and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah. So right now we get to see what happens on the other side of the relationship. So on a very first scene, it's like a really sweet scene. It's like I think it was already shown from the previous episode. It's on a dining table, and then Tyne was teasing Sarawat because he was about to leave. It was the famous line saying, I'm gonna kiss you until you drop. And then Tyne was like saying, we've been together for a long time, but I haven't actually experienced that. And then there was the push on the table. I know that you can imagine it. The push on the table, and just when their faces are so close to each other, of course, Pidem interrupts.
Knock, knock, knock.
What? Yeah. So he was like, knocking on the door, and then you can see the frustration at the Tyne and Sarawat's face, right? And then I like this line, Robin. Tyne said, "Hey, call me if you have time." And then Sarawat said, "I'll call you even if I don't have time." And I was like, oh
Yeah,
no.
I swooned at that time, and I have a win bias. So I mean, if I'm swooning, even I'm swooning, then something's happening. Yes. Can I just say that I'm really glad? Another benefit of this, seeing this from Sarawat's perspective, is that we get to see this scene again. I love that repeated scene. They can do another episode, and then we can see the scene even one more time.
They can do season 3.
Yeah.
We can do a season 2. Sorry,
season 2
season of Together, the series, and we get to see that scene again, and we will have no complaints at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. So I think there's the knock, and then it's basically Pidem knocking on the door because they're about to leave to practice for the 2U event. And then you can see the faces of Sarawat and Tyne. I was like, okay, yeah. You take
Not
care
happy
of
at all.
Happy at all. And then I like this conversation, Robin. I think, what's the town again? I can't understand my handwriting. It's pattern, and I'm gonna butcher it.
The two locations. Yeah. So Sarawat says, "Who would have thought that my first relationship has become a long distance one?" And Deem says, "I'm gonna butcher it too."
Yeah.
Thorn and Lad Prau. This is your long distance. Hello, Lad Prau is not Las Vegas.
Yeah. If you guys don't know, I mean, if this is the first time you listen to our podcast, if it's not, I mean, you should know that Robin is in a long distance relationship. So this episode is going to be filled with a lot of his stories on that. Any take on this specific scene wherein it was the first time again that they're going to be separated from each other?
Yeah, and my initial reaction was like, this is not a long distance relationship. You're whining, but I mean, I have to cut them a little slack because number one, we know from the last episode that they were not allowed to contact each other at all. Like they didn't communicate at all. And I even communicate with my boyfriend multiple times a day. So it's like that, there's that cutoff too. And also, like you said, they'd never been separated from each other since they met, basically. So it's like, you know, it's a little understandable. However, you know, they do have something that I don't have on, which is like physical contact, like being next to each other for most of the time. So it was a little, I was like jealous a little bit, but it's okay. I still love them.
I mean, from the story of season one, from the story of season one, basically when they became a couple, I think it's just a few weeks, and then they lived together. So
Exactly.
it's for me, it's understandable that it's understandable when, first of all, on the scene, Sarawat didn't know that they cannot contact each other, right? So he was sulking even before the fact, and then I was thinking while watching it the first time before, okay, that is like super OA. Okay, that's not too far. Yeah. But when I watched it earlier today, I realized that yes, they haven't actually been separated from each other.
No, they haven't been separated. And the lack of contact when you're expecting to contact your significant other, you don't get to say goodbye properly. And so you feel there's probably some anxiety, you know, that comes with that too, because you're like, what are they thinking? What are they feeling? What do they think that I'm doing? You know, like, have they forgotten? Do they think that I've forgotten about them? And you don't want that to happen. So, you know, that's also an increase in the pain too.
Yes. And then let's talk more about LDR in the next scenes, because we have a lot of that, not just Sarawat and Tine, but and a lot among others. So the next scene, Robin.
Yeah, the next scene is when they arrive at Deem's house, where they're going to be practicing. They come in the front gate, and Deem says, "Make yourselves at home. Pay respect to my house spirits too." There's a little spirit house in the corner, and then the band starts whispering about how this is where Green told me that they did it right out here. And Deem kind of is like listening in and like doesn't exactly get what's going on, but he knows that something's up. And yeah, so
I think the band said an alibi. No, dogs, something about dogs, and then said,
yeah, we're talking about dogs. He's like, I don't have dogs. He's really confused. This episode does not make Deem look smart, even though we know he's a fantastic musician. But in this episode, he just like has lost touch, or I don't know. Something's off. We know that from the start with Deem. So they get inside, and Deem shows this fantastic musical setup that they have, and the band's really excited. They're all excited. It's P. Jenny's guitar, and I mean, they take a selfie, and then Deem's just like, okay, phone's in the bag, basically. Nobody's allowed to contact anyone. He says, good musicians must focus on their music. If I don't do this to you guys, you're going to be talking with your partners all day long. He says, give it to me, don't argue. He said, somebody's like, what if my mom calls? And he's like, I'll answer for you. So, and Ern says, well, it doesn't matter because I'm single. He goes, I know you're on TikTok all the time. I feel called out personally too. But so he's like, I'm following you, Mr. TikTok star. Give me your phone. So he takes everybody's phone, and he said, Sarawat goes, when will we get our phones back? Deem goes, oh, after you practice. And Sarawat says, today? And Deem goes, no, after the practice schedule is complete.
Then he shows
2 weeks.
Practice schedule.
Yeah. Practice schedule after 2 weeks. And everybody's like gasping.
without my phone, with or without a boyfriend.
I know. Yeah, that's what I'm like. That's like an ambush to me. Like that's like out of nowhere. Like I can't even imagine. Like, wow. When I was like 12, I didn't have a phone up until like 15, and I can't even imagine how I survived. Like, how did I get through that? You know, it's just so pervasive. Technology is so pervasive now. But so yeah, and then somebody goes, "Do we even have breaks? Are we allowed to eat?" And Sarawat goes, "We don't have any days off. Isn't this too tough? I don't think we'll be able to do it." Dean goes, "If you guys can't do it, then quit now. Go home. It doesn't matter anymore. Go ahead. I'll return all of these musical instruments." Because like we have to hand it to Dean. Like number one, he's very intelligent. Like this is the way that a leader acts. He goes, "All right, if you don't want to do it, then quit. Go home." And that's motivating. That's like a challenge, right? He's getting everybody motivated. Also, they don't get to play with the toys. He goes, "Okay, that's fine. I'll return them. We'll give up now." But also, I'm like, I'm mad at Dean. I kind of like this popped into my mind because that he's having an argument with Green, like just this sense because he doesn't want anybody to talk to their boyfriend, and because he can't, right? And in my mind, I'm like, just because you're having an argument, just because your relationship is dysfunctional, doesn't mean you have to throw it into everybody else's face. But that was my like angry. I was feeling for Sarawat here.
But you know what I like about the whole thing? Sarawat was basically repeating himself. Like, how do I call Tine? And then you can see, oh shit, I like
he's like
it.
a little puppy dog. Yeah.
Call Tine. I mean, love to have a boyfriend like that. And the first thing that comes into his head was like, oops, I it's not how will I be able to watch TikTok or do my TikTok. The first thing that is mine is how am I supposed to contact my boyfriend? And that's like, oh, Sana.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, because the look on his face just communicates everything. He's just like, oh, and that's Bright's acting. It's just really subtle but really good. So yeah. All right. So eventually the band agrees to following the schedule because they've been guilt tripped and manipulated into it. And they find out they're going to be locked in the house. And they won't be let out. Like Dean is hardcore. So I don't know. I think later on they're practicing and it's kind of the end of the practice. Dean gives a little criticism to everyone. He's like, Sarawat, you're good, but you're distracted. You're terrible. You need to practice to the side. And he's like, okay, the vocalist, you're good. You can sing now. And the vocalist is like, but there's nobody here to sing with me. And goes, okay, just wait. So
we need to mention this. The reason why PDM was super intense on this band practice is because he lost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And for him, this is his redemption year. Even if he cannot play because he already graduated, he really wanted to win, to be part of the next win somehow.
Yeah, and I think this is beneficial for the bandmates because they're learning from his experience. He's telling them what it takes, right? And maybe this is going to help them out.
Yes, but we have to agree that it's a little intense though. But I think it's the sake of the narrative somehow.
Yeah. Well, also, he's mad. He's mad at Green right now. So he's got that motivation to be like pushed, to be intense about it.
Okay, so as our listeners can see, I can hear, we're having a lot of conflicting feelings for PDM today.
Yeah, like I get him, I admire him, but also like, ugh.
Oh, come on. Just let Sarawat talk to Tine for a minute. Something like that, right?
Let him say like, I won't be able to talk to you because the practice schedule is so hectic, or at least that. So yeah.
Yeah, actually, I was about to say that. it would have been suffice that, hey, yeah, text your loved one, text your boyfriend or whoever, and say that
Right.
you're not allowed your phone. Because when it first time, I was really worried, like, oh my gosh, they're gonna argue because Time was expecting you to call, something like
Yeah.
that. It was
Yeah,
okay.
and if somebody's mother's worried, wouldn't they call the police? Like, if they didn't answer their phone for 2 weeks, the police will be knocking at PDM's front gate. Like, what's going on? Why did you kidnap these people?
But we promised that he's gonna answer the phone when it's the mom call.
Right. Exactly. So actually, even after the practice, Sarawat asks for the phones back, and PDM goes, "No, you guys sucked today. You don't get to have them back." And he tells everybody where they should sleep. And so we see to their. Go ahead.
Yeah, you know what I like though? I feel like an earn because she's the only woman in the band, and she's really comfortable with the guys, thinking that okay, we're friends, we're gonna be here together in one room, and that's okay. I mean, that's badass, right?
Yeah.
I earn on this. Okay. Moving forward, I think it was Sarawat unpacking something from his bag, and then he saw this another product placement glued
Well
to
done.
us. Yeah, glued to seat. There's a post-it right there which says "Take care of yourself." Post-it, which is basically from season 1. It's a very Sarawat-Tine thing, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it's a product placement that doesn't irritate me because it's super nicely done. And then there's I think one of his friends were like saying, if you're done flirting with their boyfriend, fish off the light. And then I mean, basically a Sarawat-Tine thing as well, to listen to the music when they feel something, and then he's feeling sad, and there goes a montage of the memories that they had together.
Yeah.
Yes. Actually, Robin and I were like saying that this episode is the montage episode because I think they shot a lot of scenes, and then they have to like squeeze it in one episode. We're not complaining. It's
not at all.
Very good. And then later on that morning, you can see Sarawat eating breakfast or something, and then looking at the Polaroid from season 1 as well, the one they took at the communication arts booth.
Yeah.
You remember the one with
it was like one of those disguises and a wigs and with the glasses and the nose and the mustache on Tine.
I bet the original Polaroid of that would sell for a lot of money.
Yeah, very valuable.
JNTV, you heard it here first, so maybe you should give it to us. No, just
auction? Auction?
Yes. Polaroid. Yes. And then this is really okay. So they had the whole day's practice, and then it ended up on the room again. Then he super missed Tine to the point that while he is in the bed, he was imagining Tine I mean right beside him, and it was just the doll. I mean, I like the part because yes, and also the acting of Sarawat and Tine of Bright and Wen actually improved from the episode 1 up until episode 4. Because you can see the feelings, or you can feel what they're feeling right there and there.
I think this was the most intimate scene. Like, I know there are other ones where they're closer together, like the couch scene, but like this scene was so intimate. Like you can it just felt like they'd been a couple for a long time, for the year that
Oh God, yeah, this is like, oh my gosh, I like this scene so much. And then you can see that they really, really miss each other, but then they cannot like touch because it's this imagination, right? And then it's just super funny. And kudos to Jen and TV for thinking about it, because they pan out the camera. There goes their friends saying, is he okay?
Yeah. Everything all right?
Yes. If I am one of the friends, hey, are you okay? But yeah.
But my first thought was like, why are they standing over him like that? Like, isn't that kind of a weird thing to do? He's not a movie. He's not a TV. Why? But like, also he is like whispering to a doll out loud. Like, it wasn't that quiet. Like, they're right there. So
Dang it.
within a room full of people, I keep on forgetting. Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's a big bed. Like, all the other guys are on small beds, but I don't know. I think it's funny for him and his doll. It was just this big bed that could fit Tyne as well.
And you know what? This episode might have been one of the many reasons why the Brightwing dolls are selling like pancakes.
Yeah.
Because of right? Anyway, moving forward. Go ahead, Robin.
So it's the next morning and everybody's in the kitchen and they're preparing breakfast. Dean's like, all right, guys, come on. We need to get going. He's motivating them to practice. They're kind of lollygagging, in his mind at least. And he goes, come on, eat quickly. Like, you're slow. Temp, why aren't you eating? And Temp is standing over there clutching his stomach and he's saying he feels sick. And Dean is skeptical, very skeptical of his illness and going, you're just faking it, like, basically. And then
you wanted to go out, huh? Something like that.
Yeah, he's like, you're trying to get out of this, aren't you? But we know like Temp is actually doing a good job, so he has no reason to fake out of it. But then Temp like vomits. And everybody's like concerned and he's like, nice acting, good job. You're showing up this front. And everybody's like, he's not pretending. It's not a joke. This is real. Like, and in my mind, I'm like, what an asshole. Excuse my language, but I'm like, what are you doing? Like, that's really mean. But yeah, he goes, okay, I'm gonna take him to the hospital. You guys keep on practicing. And everybody's like, make sure he's okay. Like, and so they leave. And then Sarawat, like, you can see his face when he does this too. It's like you watch the light bulb ding going off in his mind. He's like, I have 2 hours. I can make it. And Ern's like, what are you talking about? He goes, I'm gonna go see Tyne. And she goes, you can't. And then she goes, well, someone needs to go with you, otherwise you'll never come back. And yeah. To the other two, Sarawat tells them, stay here, because why would they come? And Ern is like, all right. We gather that some time has passed because it's dark out now. And they arrive at the outside of Sarawat-Tine's apartment building. And Ern's like saying, oh, it's nice. And he's like, oh yeah, we just moved here, blah, 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 small talk. And Ern says, like, Sarawat is like booking it, like he's walking really fast, and Ern's like, slow down, I can't keep up with you. And he goes, we're running out of time. I miss him to death. And she's like, wow, when it comes to your boyfriend, you don't mess around.
Making Sarawat perfect boyfriend. I'm sorry, right?
Yeah, well, he's very motivated. He misses his boyfriend. He needs to go see him. So yeah,
Look around.
they arrive at the apartment. Sarawat's calling for Tyne, but he can't see him. When Tyne left in episode 3, Tyne had been using his laptop, but then it needed to update, so that's why he went out. So they arrive and he sees his updating laptop, and so we know like where we are in Sarawat's perspective. So he goes searching for him. Then he finds him at the swimming pool scene that we saw. And Tyne is talking to the Sarawat doll again, and that really touching, speech that he makes.
Performance of Win Weta Win Yet.
Yeah, it was amazing. So yeah.
Yes.
He said that Sarawat said that he missed Tyne too. So now we know where that voice came from. We were like,
Yeah.
before we were like, it wasn't typed. That would make no sense. Yeah, and it was never really explained in episode 3, like where the voice came from. Also, they never really mentioned like Tyne doesn't think he's going crazy or anything, because he's like, what?
Mm-hmm. This is perfectly created. Episode 3 and 4, right? I mean, wow, just wow. Yeah, just realizing it right now. Like, yeah, someone did say time, right?
Yeah, they said, I miss you too, Tyne.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the episode, this was highlighted on episode 3. The what we said about being the award that should have been award winning performance of Medellin when he was crying and then bawling himself out and then talking about and stuff like that. And then we get to see the perspective of Sarawat. He was actually hiding on the pillar. He was about to say, he was about to call him out. And then I think, what do you think was, there was a line, right, Robin? The reason why Sarawat didn't say, I didn't actually.
Well, Tyne basically said that he has to be patient, he has to be strong, he's going to wait until this very stoic kind of statement that he's going to wait until this event is over, he's going to get through it, very determined. And I'll wait until we meet again. And Sarawat actually realizes, well, I have to do that too. I have to be strong. I have to be patient. I have to wait until I see him.
No. Here's my question. Do you think it would have been like better if he said hi and then hugged or kissed him for like a few minutes, or whatever Sarawat did where okay, let's go back, it's okay because I already saw it?
I think, well, so I'll say what I would have done, and then I'll say what's my perspective of what Sarawat did. Yeah, I would have gone, like, I'm not like that. I would just walk out and say, oh, it's okay, and like give him a hug and tell him, I'm sorry, I have to go, and like explain what had happened for the past week, and like, you know, that's what I would have done. But I think what Sarawat is trying to do is respect respect Tyne's determination, to respect his patience, and to realize that, okay, Tyne is making this resolution to get through this, and I have to be like that too. And also as kind of like, I think seeing Tyne was enough for him, right?
Yeah.
It kind of like, I was talking earlier about that anxiety that they probably feel that they haven't been able to contact each other, but he knows now that Tyne is going to make the best of it, that he's going to be patient, and that he knows it's going to be fine. So that anxiety too is probably eased a little bit. Also, we've seen his boyfriend, even though he didn't get to like give him a hug or talk to him, he still saw him, and that was probably enough for him.
For me, it's conflicting. I mean, how I see it is conflicting, because I believe if I am Sarawat and then I hugged and kissed Tyne, there's a part of me that would say that it's gonna be harder for him again to adjust if I leave, because I need to leave, right? But there's also part of me saying, oh no, but that's another hug, it's another kiss, it's another hey. I mean, any sort of communication would have been important. I mean, I don't know. I think what Sarawat did was right. That's my stand.
I think so too. I think, you know, of course I would do it differently, but yeah, I think that he made the right decision. Yeah, I have to agree.
They have to leave again.
Yeah, so they leave, and they arrive even later back, and they're sitting in front of Deem's house on a bench. And Ern and Sarawat have this conversation. Ern's like, I didn't know that you had a romantic side. And Sarawat's like, of course I do. He goes, all you wanted to do was to see his face, just like what we were talking about just now. She goes, how whipped, you're a whipped boy. Like, and Sarawat explains, Tine is trying to be patient. I'm going to do the same. At least the distance makes our longing for each other more valuable.
Yeah.
And coming from the perspective of being in an LDR, like that is like, I don't notice all the time, like how much my relationship means to me. But then every once in a while, like a laugh or a joke or just a memory will come across me. And then it hits me like a ton of bricks, like how significant it is to me in my heart. And I actually start to cry. And it is tough. Like having the distance is tough, but I'm really happy that I do have that feeling, that I do run across that feeling, because it does mean that I miss him and I'm happy to miss him. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's a good thing to have that kind of feeling, to be crying like Tine was. I'm not quite like I'm very understated, but I was raised by a British person. So, but like, you know, like I get what he was feeling in that, at that
because
point.
It's already okay. It doesn't, I cannot, it's not from my own experience, but I believe it doesn't get easier, because the time that you don't feel it, the time that you're okay, that you're away from each other, I think you have to rethink your relationship, right? If you're already, if you're not feeling that it's hard anymore, that you're away from each other, I think you have to rethink the relationship.
I think in a way, being in any relationship is a day-by-day decision-making process that you decide to stay in it. And I'm not trying, like, that seems dramatic.
No, I like that. It's
in a long-distance relationship, it's like, that is constantly there. That's constantly there, because you have to stay strong. You have to be, you know, you have to be resolute. You have to plan for your future, because always, every LDR, nobody's like planning on staying in the LDR state forever. Everybody's always planning to come together at some point. And so you have to, like, you know, have a plan, keep your eye on the future, consciously involve that person in every moment that you do things. You have to say good morning and good night, and you also have to be understanding if they're like not able to talk to you at a certain time because they're busy, and you have to make,
which is basically what Tine is doing. Tine didn't know, I didn't know the rules from the musical club, but then he was thinking that Sarawat is doing it for his club, for his work, and they have to endure the distance away from each other. So so I wow, okay, it connects somehow.
And so, like, in a lot of ways, this episode was kind of cathartic for me, because it explains so much about LDR, about being in a long distance relationship. And so
later on, we talk about other couples in the series and LDRs, right? Like
Man and Type. Ern goes, wow, are you writing a new song right now? Because she's touched by what he said about being patient, and the distance is making their longing for each other more valuable. She goes, you just love Tine so much, don't you? And Sarawat's like, isn't that normal? And Ern goes, no, I don't think so. Let's suppose that I like girls. I don't know if I'd be open out, basically, like you are. And Sarawat goes, it's not about being out or not. We're just two people who love each other, just like other couples. It's not about courage. It's all about love. So like, when you're openly gay, or you're openly bisexual, or whatever, you know, or even openly trans, it's not all about relationships either. When you're openly who you are, it's not about being courageous. And I think that the idea that people, when people are out, that they are being courageous, or that they have to be courageous, is like a lot of pressure. I think something like that's a lot of pressure on LGBTQ people, like expecting them to be courageous. And it's not about being courageous. It's about, we want to walk around and just be ourselves in any situation and not have to think about it. But the problem is that society hasn't always allowed us to do that. So we have to have courage in order to do that, which is something that straight or cis or, you know, a lot of, generally your typical people in society who have privilege don't have to experience.
As everyone would know, Together the series is my first BL series, and the number one thing, it's even above Bright. Yeah, this number one thing that I like about it is that it explains to me the genderless kind of love, but the one when you're blinded if he's a boy or it's a girl, it's boy with a guy with a guy, or a girl with a girl. That's what I love about the series. And Sarawat actually summarizing what I love about the whole thing, why I'm super into, why we're into deep on this, why we created a podcast, by saying that it's not a matter of being out. It's not about being open. It's love, right? It's a love story to begin with. It's BL stories are love stories. I dream of a society like that, Robin. Happy Pride Month to our friends of the LGBTQ community. I dream of the society like that, wherein a BL story would be labeled as a love story, period.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes. And then the stories of the LGBTQ will not be about how their courage to be open or their struggles. It's about how they love and how they're being loved, just like any other person. And
Sarawat, two people figuring out life.
Yeah, so Sarawat stating the whole thing that I like about this series in one line. That's why, I told you this is the best Together series episode.
It's beautiful. So Ern basically agrees and says that, I guess you're right. It's up to the ones loving each other. It's their call if they want to be out or not. And Sarawat says, exactly, you're right.
It's their story. It's their life.
Yeah. There's nobody should be able to tell us like what we should or shouldn't do, basically.
Yeah. So be them arrive with a bad news or a good news for brides time like me.
Yeah.
So basically, Tempt has gastritis, and since the event is in 2 days, Pidem said that Sarawat should sing, and then
they have to find a new guitarist.
Yes. Who will that? That might be. We don't know. So we are looking. We fast forward to the event, the morning of the event, which is like 2 days after. It was when no. Oh my gosh! It was Tine saying, "Hey guys." Yeah. He's doing his pep talk, and then Green was teasing him. Are we in the right building? Yes, we are in the right building. You're the one who's telling the others to calm down and then relax, and you're the one who's really tense. And then we get to see Green hugging Tine, and then Tine was like, "You've been hugging me a lot lately." You have to remember that from the season 1, Green likes Tine, right? But now they're, and then after that, I think it was just Puhong and Tine, and then Tine was like basically because he like bursted out at Pugong somehow when he was super. Yes, and then as a good leader, Tine was like, "I'm sorry because I bursted out on you," and then he showed that he cares because Pukong was hospitalized for not eating and stuff. And here we had a clue because somehow I think Time was like, okay, I think the vibe was like super similar. So he pulled out his phone and took a photo of the poster, and then there was a backflash of U216, the season 16, season 17 somehow. And then Pukong and Time walked away. And then imagine this, just few seconds after a white van came in. I was like, seriously? Few seconds after, I was like,
Yeah.
we wanted them each other. So it was like, okay, so we get to see the whole band get out of the car, and then you can see Sarah doing this. If you're listening to this on an audio podcast, he was like looking around
Looking around here or there.
around the area, and then Pidem was like saying, "Are you looking for time?" Yes. Your boyfriend is in the club too, and then you can see that it says it was clear. It says Pidem said, "I don't have a boyfriend," and then you can see the angry face of Pidem, and then
Yeah.
yes,
As if the hugging of Tyne by Green didn't give us enough confirmation that they're in an argument right now and that they've broken up yet again, maybe. Yeah.
I like that yet again because you know what, Robin has been telling us that Pidem Pidem and Green was like the center of the story. They move around the story, right?
Yeah, they're not the main characters, but they instigate the entire plot of both series.
Yeah. So together, yes, I have to agree with you. And coincidentally, our very first episode with Robin was the reveal of the Pidem and Green relationship. So there's like,
Yeah.
yes, it feels like a long time ago. Anyway, so it was revealed that
It was a year ago now, I think. Coming up on a year. Almost a year. Next
God,
month.
yeah, yes. And then did we just no, not yet. Not next, not I think it was September.
Oh, it might have
Okay.
been September or August. I'm not sure.
Anyway, it's the reveal that their new guitarist is P Mill. If you're a huge fan of Together the series, you would know that it is the impossible combo. If we're talking about Together, because Sarawat and Mill was like super arguing because of time, right? And
Yes.
I think Mill already has a band rhythm, if you remember from season one.
Yeah.
Yes, and then and also if Sarawat saw the poster, and then there's a throwback of during the time he was looking one of the Scrub concert that he was looking for time. So it's another throwback thing. Moving forward, U2 event was like cheerleading, band, and football or soccer. How did we call it? Is it soccer?
In the US, we call it soccer, but
in England, it's football, right?
It's football, yeah.
Yeah, so man was like, it's just another LDR thing.
Yeah,
Man was like holding his phone, holding his phone, and then, hey, B-type, look at my jersey. It says duper white, which we assume means super duper white. Yeah, because if you remember, Type is the brother of Time, and then Sarawat's jersey says it's glowing white. So man actually thought that maybe it's supposed to be duper white, and then Boss was like, "Oh, I look at my and you have to know what's on my shirt." He was wearing a jacket, and then a man was like guessing like, "Is it cute? Is it cute doctor or something like that?" And then yeah, cute doctor. And then I think Pukong, the brother of Sarawat, asked for permission to go to the musical club, and then pretended that because they're not out yet as a couple.
Right.
In connection to what you said, they're not out yet as a couple. So
yeah.
Pukong pretended to see his brother Sarawat, and so Time said, "Oh, can you bring this to him because I'm super busy right now." I think Time prepared lunch for Sarawat. And this is one of the funniest scenes on the whole episode. It's them being the bitter was guarding the door to the dressing room of Control S. As like I think the first scene was a woman was trying to see his boyfriend, and then he said, You're not allowed, something like that. And then the woman was called him out and said, it's not because you and your boyfriend broke up, you have to be this way. So it's just like,
Exactly. That's so like she is me in that one line. Like I was the entire time. That's what I was feeling about it. It's like Dean.
yes. It's weird though because okay, and then Pukom said, is there is female there? Are you his boyfriend? No, I'm just here to give him food. Someone is asking me to give him food, and then he assigned female. Oh, you have to guard. You have to guard the door. My eyes were like, no one gets through me. Just like okay, yeah, I agree with what you said that Pidem was like kind of dumb on this episode. Excuse the term.
Yeah,
He was
dim
like,
was being a bit dim. Yeah, it like he was just not catching on to anything. Like wasn't didn't he just like bought the excuse that, but a little confused, but he bought the excuse that, oh, there was something in Pukom's hair, and also if you like the food that Times sent to Sarawat was looked beautifully made and was like very carefully done and especially laid out for Sarawat with a note, and like Sarawat's like, it's from a restaurant, and Dim was like, that's what I was thinking, like as if that made sense that they would write this loving note and like with a happy face and like all that, like it just no.
you know what? Speaking of that scene, I like how Sarawat's face light up. But
Yeah,
when
yeah, yeah, yeah.
there's a food from Tine here. I kind of like relate to Tine on this one because my acts of love is acts of service. I would do I would do a lot of things for my friends or for a significant other, and one of the things that I really do is to cook for my friends and my loved ones. And yeah, I saw myself at Tine for that, and I like how Sarawat appreciates every little fine thing, every little
Yeah.
thing that does. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that. And then there's another um, perfectly placed product placement. It has it's a drink, and then it says yeah, I don't know what it says there. I forgot.
I don't think I wrote down the note.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry guys.
It's hard. Okay, it's your turn, Robin. The next scene.
All right. Okay, so they are walking outside, and Deem is kind of saying, when you guys do the soundtrack, do it slowly, don't rush it. And they're both basically, Tyne is also walking outside too with the cheerleading team, and they're both like getting in the zone and preparing. And they're walking in kind of like opposite directions. I think, was it opposite directions? And they're on different sides of the street. And then they catch sight of each other. And
oh my gosh, I'm gushing over this, catching it in my head.
Well, it's symbolic too, right? Like the road is like the separation that they've had, and then they catch sight of each other across the separation, and they smile. You expect them to like be angry because they haven't talked to each other. Why haven't you texted me? Like whatever. But no, they catch sight of each other. And Tyne says to watch, keep fighting, Sosona. And wait, what is it?
Susuna.
My oh yeah, he went like this, like I can't hear you, and he's like, so yeah, and he goes, you too.
Yeah.
It's so, and that moment is so adorable because it's like I feel like I'm in like a Julia Roberts like romantic comedy like scene. Yeah, it's like an amazing.
Robin, here's the thing. I saw this episode during the premiere the premiere, because I mean during the premiere when GMMTV released it, and it was like the last second to the last cut, and oh my god, this is my favorite scene on the entire series, and it's an understatement. I like how Sarawat's face lit up when he saw Tide. I was like, oh my gosh, like oh oh, I'm sorry. There's yes, it's like
this scene is one of the best scenes they shot in the whole both series. Yeah.
And then Bright and Win was able to translate the emotions of seeing each other for the first time in a long time. I mean, it was just perfectly.
Yeah, and that's a very specific emotion to try to portray, like that. Yeah, it's their acting ability is.
Yes,
awesome.
especially when they see each other every day.
Right.
I mean, how can you portray something like the excitement of seeing each other?
Yeah.
Right? Good job.
Yeah. Well, part of it's the writing too. Part of it's the writing was well done. The scene was well shot. Like the production, excellent. So
even the music.
Oh good. Yeah, perfect. So they're about to leave, and then Time goes, "What?" And he takes out a drink that they've already advertised for, and he kisses the bottle, and he like to throw it, and he throws it across, and Watt catches it, and he kisses the same side. It's like they're kissing each other. Like, yeah, it was great. Yeah, I can't say enough about this scene. Like I could go on forever, but so then we move forward to Man and Boss. Yeah, and Man goes, "Hey, Boss, that's Pear walking. Your doctor Pear. Boss looking, your beloved doctor. Look." Because she had taken care of Boss after he got hurt another time. What's that?
We all have that one friend who pushes us to.
Yeah, I appreciate Man a lot. And Boss goes, "No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna wait until the match is over." He's like, "Do it now." And he goes, "No." And then Man just like, "Okay, Pear, wait, come here. And Boss is mortified. And Pear's like confused, but like also just a friendly person. So she goes, "Hi guys." And Man goes, "We're allowed to print someone we like on the jerseys. Look at Boss's jersey." And he reveals it. And we find out that it says "Cute Piggy."
Instead of cute doctor.
Yeah, it's been misprinted. And everybody's like, "Huh?" So, and Boss is like, "What?" And Pear goes, "Well, who do you like?" Because she's confused. She like, easygoing, friendly. So she's not like annoyed or anything, but it says "Cute Piggy" to Boss. And Pear goes, "Oh, that's cute," because she's thinking, "Why are they showing me this?" But he must like someone that he calls Cute Piggy. And Boss goes, "They spelled it wrong." Pear's like, "I'm gonna go check out the cheerleading team." And so basically, his confession is ruined again.
Let me just say that when it comes to my friendship with Donna, I'm more of a man. I'm more of man. Go ahead, go.
I could see that.
Anyway, yes.
And then Man, this was funny. Man says to Boss, "Please don't cry." His Boss is like having an emotional breakdown.
Yeah.
He acts tough, but he melts all the time. So okay, then there's a music composition, and like some fanfare, and their MCs are announcing all the different competitions that are happening.
One of the MCs are like this GMMTV staff that we all know.
Yeah.
I follow him on Instagram.
I don't know his name, yeah, but I've seen him before.
He is close to almost all of the GMM TV stars. And of course, you're gonna notice that if you follow a lot of GMM TV stars.
Yeah. Yeah, you will. So they kind of have a back and forth, and it was funny. Yeah.
Yes.
So Sarawat and his band are coming on stage, and the other vocalist says, "Hey," from another band who's already, because they're doing a sound check. He says, "Hey, I heard your band changed vocalists. That's good, because when you lose, it's on you. No excuses." And
You know,
then
a lot of guys hate Sarawat.
yeah, because he's such a rock star, right? But Meal, of all people, comes up behind Sarawat, because Sarawat's like, I don't really know what to say. I'm not very confrontational, introvert personality, confused. And Meal comes up and goes, "Stop barking. Keep your mouth, to sing." He goes, "Son of a bitch." So Meal comes out strong, supporting Sarawat, and Meal turns to everyone and goes, "Let's go." Like, it's like a scene. Yeah, it's really great.
If only Sarawat knows why is there because he is his soon to be brother-in-law.
Yeah. 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 So they're kind of like brothers in that way. So Meal's got that, background feeling. So it's cutting back and forth. It starts cutting back and forth between cheerleading practice and the cheerleading competition and the music competition.
Hold on.
Wait,
Sorry.
Yeah, go.
Interrupt you. Speaking of Mil, I forgot to say from when he delivered the food, Sarawat asked him. Yeah, sorry. Sarawat asked him, why is it you agreed to be our guitarist? And then why is it? And then he said that if it's last year, I wouldn't actually agree to it, but everything is different now. But Sarawat doesn't know that the difference is Pupo.
No, yeah. Yeah, he has no idea about that. So Sarawat must be surprised that Neil is supporting him too. So Tyne goes to his cheerleading team. He goes, "Okay, guys, let's gather around. We've practiced for so long just for this event." Deem, then these similar scenes. It's another montage. Deem goes, "These past 2 weeks, I know you guys have condemned me silently, but it's nothing compared to what I've carried for 2 years," because, he lost 2 years ago in this competition. Tyne goes, "Forget all the struggles we have. Just go out there and do your best." And I want to cut these together in like a motivational video with inspiring music, and because these are words that people, who are not feeling great should hear. Deem goes,
also, gonna motivate me personally because it's Bright and Mid's voice.
Yeah. Deem says, "I admit at first I just wanted to get what I missed last year, but spending time with you all for 2 weeks gives me a new idea." Tyne says, "No matter what happens, smile away. The show must go on." Deem says, "Just play with your heart. No matter what the result is, I'm happy with it." And then Tyne and his team go, "Fight or give up." And then the band goes, "Fight or give up." And it's like everybody's hands in and like, yeah. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, the cheer performance commences, the football competition happens, and the music competition, is going to start. But then Om and Fong show up to the cheerleading competition, and Om goes, "Damn, is the competition over already? We came to see your team compete." Tyne goes, "No, we've only just reached halftime. The second half is still to come." Fong said, "I just saw P. Deem. He said Sarawat's band is about to perform their second half too. What are you going to do?" And Tyne's like explaining how the football match started late, and he doesn't know if he can even make it there, and he seems kind of anxious about it.
But you know what I like about what happened, Robin?
Yeah.
I mean, still, Tyne chose his responsibility, right?
Yeah.
It says a lot.
Tyne's grown too. I mean, he was more like mopey and sulky before, and like always upset about something and worried. But now he's very determined and very mature. Like he's still serious, but he's very determined and mature to get things done. So yeah, I
You know
agree.
what, Rob? If we listen to our episodes, like if our listeners haven't heard of Together the podcast from the season 1, we said a lot of things about Tine, about being sulky, being this and that, and now he's like he matured right on our very eye,
Yeah,
right?
right. We've seen him grow.
We've seen
Both of
him
them.
grow.
Both of them. Yeah.
Yes, Tine
Sarawat
became
is more
more.
outgoing.
Yes, that's what I'm about to say. I mean, if you ask me, the episode season 1, episode 1, Sarawat, he wouldn't be like the head of the musical club. The hell he cares, right?
Mhm.
Now,
Yeah.
musical club who does this and that.
Yeah,
I
their
want
relationship is like a motivation for them to,
yes,
grow and develop.
yes, I have to agree.
So yeah, so Pukong comes up and he goes, Tine, you can go and support Piwat. I can take care of things from here. And I think that's so nice of him to do. But Tine says, no, it's okay. Don't worry about me. Just do the best you can. I will do my job the best I can as well. And Ohm is like amazed. He goes, wow, Tine's words are sharper than Fong's now. It's unbelievable. You're so cool.
All
Yeah.
amazed with the transformation.
And then, yeah, totally, exactly. It's yeah. And Tine says that Fong and Ohm should go and support Watt. He goes, I'll catch up with you guys later. You go ahead. And now we cut to the football game, and Pear is cheering for Boss, saying, Boss, go Boss. But then in this kind of like almost terrifying moment, Boss is injured and the game comes down to man's penalty kick.
Yeah.
He scores. He wins. He gets it in. So we flash forward to Sarawat's performance. And Neil says to the band, he goes, hey, this is our last song. Do your best. And then Fong and Omer in the crowd, Fong goes, when will Tine come? And then Sarawat starts saying, I'm happy to be here again. I was once here looking for someone, but I didn't find him. He's also here today, but I don't think he can make it. And then Tine suddenly shows up with the rest of the cheerleaders too. And he goes, that's okay though. No matter not Bright, Sarawat. And he goes, no matter how far apart we are, our feelings are always together. This song is called Together. And then he starts playing it. And so we kind of see each couple and their dynamic too. We see the developing love of Neil and Pukong. We see how Men and Type are on the phone together. And we see how Green and Deem are like like not paying attention to each other, but like still near each other. So like they have a connection. And yeah, and I was looking down at the comments on YouTube for this, and they said expectation of a relationship versus the reality of a relationship. Watt Tine are our expectation for a relationship, and Green Deem are the reality of a relationship. And I thought that commenter was like, they had it right. It's just funny.
I have to agree to that.
Yeah. So then Boss gets another moment, and he basically feels sad because no one's there for him anymore. And then Pear shows up and she's asking him how he's doing. She's concerned about his leg, and he goes, oh, it really hurts, kind of playing it up a little bit because he wants her concern. And then she goes, how are you going to get home? And he's like, I don't think I can. Oh, I don't think I can go home by myself. And Pear goes, let me help you. Let me call a cab for you. And then he's like, And she's like, a taxi. And he's like, taxi. And I'm so confused.
With facial expressions.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Perfect.
His comedy is like, boom, like on point. And she goes, let me help you. And he goes, great. And she goes, oh, no problem. Hold on. And so that was kind of anticlimactic for him. Because he thought, okay, I can confess to her. She's going to take me home, you know. So then we're back to the music contest, and the announcer goes, the winner is, and they chant both bands' names, control us.
Back off versus
back off.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, you know, everybody's happy. And then Tine and Sarawat's eyes kind of catch each other and they do the mini hearts at each other. So cute. Yeah. And then I love
your thing, Robin. So it was announced as Control S. You actually saw Sarawat's eyes looking for Time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This is the beauty of that, Robin. We get to like get into the those tiny details that makes the whole thing great.
Yeah, definitely. And so I love the way this next like group of scenes is shot. It's just beautifully done. Like you have a couple and the camera's on them, and then it follows a different group of people, goes to the next couple, and then it follows a different group of people to the next couple. It's just very like, first of all, it gives you a sense of the space that they're in. And I don't know, I'm being weird and nerdy. I had film studies senior year of high school, so it was like cool for me.
Yeah. When you pointed it out, I figured, yeah, it was super cool.
Yeah, I just liked it. So Type is on the phone with Man, or Man is on the phone with Type, and he goes, hey, look, I've won. See? And Type doesn't really care and goes, who's Jib? Which, you know, the entire time when he's doing that, that thing about Jib, we can tell he's kind of teasing Man. He's not really that jealous. He's definitely jealous because he has that personality, but and he goes, that's not the point. I won. Look at my medal.
Yeah, and then giggled.
And Type's like, I was just playing. What reward do you want? And he goes, I don't want a reward. I just want you to see the gold medal yourself. He wants his boyfriend to be proud of him, and that's cool. And also, I have to say that a sense of humor gets you through that long distance pain that we were talking about before. For me and my boyfriend, we make fun of each other all the time. He's always telling me like, why are you so stupid? Why are you the this or that? Not in a mean way. It's in a context of something happening. He goes, you're so stupid. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he goes, no reason really. I just wanted to say that. You know, he'll say things like that, and then I'll make fun of him for whatever. But he's not. Yeah.
Yeah, this is very LDR something. The legit LDR couple here is not Sarawat and Tine, although we established that we really get what they feel. The real LDR couple here is Man and Tine, because the other one is working for in Phuket. Yeah, so I was trying to remember. He's working in Phuket, so it's an airplane away, and then he was actually working. You get what I mean. But
yeah, I think Man and Type are much more suited as a couple to be a long distance in a long distance relationship than Sarawat and Tine.
Yes, but can you relate to him though? Like, for example, you were super excited Man was super excited to show the jersey, and then super excited like to the first person that he has in mind when he got the penalty kick and the MVP medal was to tell his boyfriend. Was it like something that you can relate to?
Yeah, totally. I remember the first time that I got a promotion last year. And I actually called my boyfriend and said, I got it. And like all that, we had a similar moment. It was like, and he goes, finally, like you've been doing this for so long. Like, but I just felt like happy to be able to share something. you know, like the sense that's something both he and I do, is that we give each other like updates on our lives and what's going on, and we share things, and we can be like proud of each other when we have different achievements. And yeah,
Basically, from what you said, you were more like a man, and then
yeah,
you're type. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I
no,
get it.
completely, yeah, no, I'm weird and silly, and my boyfriend is more focused and determined.
It's
I'm more the one who expresses things verbally and likes to write things about how much I love him, and he's the one who likes to like do things and like take care of
oh,
me. And yeah, so it is a very similar dynamic. Yeah.
see
And just the one big, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no. I have nothing to say.
I was just gonna say the one basic thing that I really related to was like holding my phone up all the time to talk to him. Like that was like viscerally like something that I do all the time. I don't even feel it anymore. I'm like holding my phone up and like showing him things, and like I don't know, like my phone is my boyfriend sometimes until we see each other, and then suddenly like there he is in front of me. He's not my phone anymore.
Yes. You have to claim it soon.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes. So they had like
Yeah. So then at that point, Tine, Fong, and Ohm were walking by, and they make whoo noises at Man and Type, kind of teasing him. And then Fong goes to Tine, "You came at the last minute, Tine." And Tynes goes, "Listen, I ran as fast as I could." And then I think Ern runs up and says, "Thanks for your support, Fong. You too, Ohm. Thank you. Bye." And she like touches Fong's arm, and Fong and Ohm are like starstruck, and they love her, and they're like, and they're like, "Oh no, she likes me more because she looked into my eyes." No, Fong says she liked me more because she touched my arm. She likes me. Are you like, Tyne? What do you think? Tyne's already walked away.
Here's another Together podcast thing. Since we deep dive this a long time ago. You remember when Tyne was jealous of Ern, and then Fong, and they were like playing games inside his room, and then Fong actually said Ern is cute. Right
Yeah,
from
yeah,
ever of Together. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
yeah. So Fong kind of likes Ern.
Yeah. So let's see if there's gonna something happen.
Yeah.
Something's gonna happen to Ern or and Fong on the movie or season
Maybe.
2.
We don't know. This is the fun thing about deep dives, like you're saying. That's
to like take a lot.
And so where am I?
Them and green. See them in green. I think because of the
Yeah. So no, it's Pukong and Meal. Yeah. So Tyne walks away, and then the camera settles on Meal and Pukong. And actually Meal is asking Pukong, "Are you free this Saturday?" And he goes, "Why? Do you want to like trick me into building another model again?" He did that before. And then Meal goes, "No, I'm asking you to see a movie with me." "Really?" says Pukong. And Meal says, "Yes." And he goes, "My turn to play hard to get." And he walked away. And Meal's like, "Are you really going to be like this right now?" And they walk by Green, who's talking to people, and he's saying, "Yeah, our band won, our football team won, our shooting team won." And he goes, "This is great." And Green goes, "Where should we celebrate?" Oh, no, first he kind of sees Deem in the background. He's like, like, that guy. He doesn't even look at him. And Green goes, "Where should we celebrate?" to his friends. Deem says, kind of like not even looking at Green, he says, "Well, the band will celebrate at J Tun's tonight. If you guys don't have plans, you can join us," acting all cool and like, and Green goes, "Oh, are you just saying that or actually inviting us? I can go, but I get to make the call about that thing."
That thing. It's gonna be revealed to us on every live.
Yeah, whatever they're arguing about. Yeah. And then Dean goes, again, that thing again? No way. And Green says, no, bye then. And then he says, come on, guys, let's party with his friends. I love how he knows so many people. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I don't know. I'm not saying anything. Anyway, I think it's him humbling himself down. It's equivalent to a sorry. When you're the one who's like, hey, let's join us, even if there's no sorry at all. It is in a relationship. It's more of equivalent to a sorry. It just so happened that Green is not ready to let go of that thing, whatever that. But yeah, I
kind of felt like, come on, Green, like we all know how prideful Dim is. Like he doesn't do this, and he's like finally sulking up to Green with his tail between his legs and saying, please, let's please. And Green's just like, no, my way.
I like how he stands his ground though. I mean, I know Green from being a battered boyfriend from season 1.
Yeah.
The day when they got back together, which is basically a good news for us. I mean, okay, now you can control the relationship more, or at least not be battered anymore. Right now,
and Deem has grown too, right? Deem doesn't just resort to anger. He goes up to him and he makes it like a peace offering, which is like a sign of growth in their relationship.
Yeah. So I mean, everyone matured right under very eyes, including Green and Dim. So it's good. I told you this is the best episode of the whole series for me, because there are like a lot of things. So yes, this is like the highlight of the whole episode 4 for a lot of people. It's the stairs scene. We can see Sarawat like on the stairs, sitting alone, and then Time is kind of posted something on his cell phone before saying hi to him, and it was a picture that he took, and it just so happened that Sarawat was there. So he was like saying, "This is our very first picture ever." I was like, "Wow, what are the odds?" I mean, it's for the sake of the narrative. It's not as if the story of Sarawat and Time would change just because they have this photo from a long time ago. But hey, yeah, it kind of like adds a little, okay, it's destiny or fate or whatsoever. You know what I like about this scene though? It's all the Instagram posts from the from, I think Sarawat was like what do you call this? Narrating how, like, for example, we just bump into each other, and that was the picture of Sarawat having a picture of the poster, and then they got together, and then the very last photo was the one where they're holding hands. Like, oh my god, my heart. Yes. Did you know that picture, the holding hands picture, was just, it's not part of the script. It's just the idea of Bright to put that on, like, oh no, I don't know. Like, oh, my shipper heart. No.
Yeah. I mean, at least we can see, even if they are not secretly together. Sorry, shippers. But even if they're not, we can see that their friendship. Yeah, and we can feel killing, like you taught me about their friendship. Yeah.
It's super killing, not just killing, it's super killing, or killing. I would say it duper killing.
Super killing. Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing though. I like the kisses on the scene better than the sofas. It was a kiss on the cheek, but it's somehow like there's a smell after, like for example.
Well, I think in Thailand it's called like it's a sniff kiss. It's kind of like, it's a really, really intimate thing to do. It's very intimate. Yeah. It's something that like your mom would do. and somebody very close to you would do. So it's to hear that like significance when I read about that, I was like, wow. So they're that close. They're that in love.
Yes, and it happened twice. It's Amy.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god! And
Yeah.
here I saw it during the premiere of the episode. I thought that the scene was over, like it's done with, and I was like, oh, what's happening? Why is there like this? And then yes, and then it ended up and then Sarah kissed Time twice, and then Time kissed him like a super shy.
Yeah. Like Tyne got over his shyness, and he actually kissed him with some force too. It wasn't he was shy about the kiss, but it wasn't a shy kiss. It was like boom.
I cannot speak for everyone, but I think that this scene is so much sweeter than our much anticipated. Although I love it as well, the sofa scene. Because this is like super intimate in the sense that it actually feels like a real couple to me. Like
it does, and they got their dynamic worked out too. Like Sarawat is making fun of Tyne. Tyne goes like, "Stop! All the people can see us," and Sarawat goes, "What people? They're out on a stairwell where literally no one is paying attention to what they're doing." Yeah, so.
And also here's the thing. I remember when we first watched together the series and have this friend, hi Nika, if you're listening. And then she was watching this first. I mean, I think she already finished the whole series before I got into it. And then she was like saying, Still Together is gonna be better because they're a lot closer. And she was right. Because they're super close, and then they see each other every day, they work together every day. So I think the dynamic is like there, and also the friendship is they bonded. Well, as per usual, they listen to another Sarawat-Tine thing. They listen to Scrub song. Only now they have wireless earphones, not like the one in your background with the cord and stuff. So yes, I like how GMMTV relates season 1. There's a continuity of the things, even with the lines, like the famous lines, they use it over and over again, just so the audience can have some feels like, oh yeah, you said that, that's your famous line, and stuff like that. Anyway, that's about it. That's the episode 4. Oh my gosh, I really enjoyed it. Please follow us on every social media account there is: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. It's Together Podcast. You can DM us if you want to join our small community. It's Together Podcast Friends. It's amazing how many people I met and be friends with on this podcast. We also have 2 other shows. It's Pink Milk Diaries. It's about the BL series. Robin and his guests discuss one BL series at a time. Our latest episode is out now on YouTube and Spotify. It's The Dark Blue Kiss. And then we have our Brighton Weekly. Yes. Anything to say?
I'm kind of apprehensive. I don't want Together to end. I know that our we're going to continue deep diving Brightwind Productions, anything that they're in together. We'll never stop. But I'm kind of like, this is a new feeling to have Still Together and Together coming to a close, and I'm looking at how much time has passed, and coming from when I jumped on the podcast to now, I'm looking at how we've grown as like a production team and how the podcast has grown. And I think the maturation of all the characters and Still Together coming to like our own maturation, that's all happened together. And it's exciting. It's kind of like apprehension too about Still Together coming to an end. So I'm super excited, but also like, I don't want it to stop.
Yes, we're still hoping we still have Together the movie. Yes, we're super excited.
Right.
I kind of wish it will show where you are right now and where I am right now. Please let.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes,
I
because
know. Yeah.
we don't want to pirate anything Brightwin. So
No,
we can't. Our ego.
no. You need to give credit where it's due. Yeah.
Yes. MMTV for having this amazing episode 4. Yes, we need to say goodbye. Thank you so much for listening. Again, it's Add Together Podcast. My name is Justin.
And I'm Robin.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.